Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So it's time for our next restoration, which is the Tamiya Terra Scorcher. Lovely, lovely buggy. Let's have a quick look at the spec of the car. So I bought this car off a Facebook member on our group. It's in absolutely tip-top condition, as you can see. Even the notorious A5 plastic bit is intact and they break all the time. In fact, somebody told me they usually come broken from the factory, which made me giggle. Anyway, yeah, this is the top of the range from the Thundershot family. This was the basically it's a Thundershot, but this one came with this new design shell and fancy wing. It came fully ball raced. It had universal drive shafts on the front, had front and rear anti-roll bars, and obviously it came with the different front shock towers, which gave the front shocks, instead of on the Thundershot when you went from mono to twin, you didn't have any brackets, you just bolted them on and they were really angled, whereas these, for better geometry, it's wider. Just whip the shell off. The driver section comes off. And there we have it. Great chassis. This is one of my favourite chassis. Sort of taken over from a hot shot and a big, boomerang, and changed some apps. Oh, sorry, it's got fully adjustable arms on it as well, I should have said. That's really important. So this car was fully adjustable, and these cars handle great straight out of the box anyway. So let's go through what we're going to do with it. So the first thing for me is it's not in box art blue. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks absolutely awesome. If I was keeping this shell, it would just need a little bit of touch up. I had planned to strip the shell with the Tamiya polycarbonate body cleaner or whatever, and I actually started it on the wing here, but it's just too much hassle, and I'm too lazy, as I've said before. So, and it's a shame as well, because this is an original, obviously, and the decals and the shell, it's got one tiny crack on the front here, because the front end has to push down quite a lot to get the body clip on, which is unfortunate. So I decided to order a reproduction body and wing and decals. So the decals I got from MCI Racing, and the body shell and wing from Team Blue Grove. Again, it's personal preference. It looks great in this colour, but the box art blue is, or big wig blue as I call it, is PS4, and it is much darker. It's probably not coming across too much on camera. Again, as I say, personal preference for me, that's how I like it. So we've got the reproduction shell and wing from Team Blue Grove. I forgot to order the mask from MCI, which I should have done, so I left a mask for windows myself, but that's no biggie. And then we got the reproduction decals from MCI. So that's what we're going to be doing with the body. So the car itself, as I say, it looks in awesome condition, but you never know until you start running these things. There's a couple of things you can do really easily with this buggy to make it look better, in my opinion. Obviously, get the tyres cleaned up, do the tyre writing. On these particular tyres, the Tamiya off-roader markings are on both sides of the tyre, and I just think it looks awesome when they're marked up. The driver as well, we can put much more detail on that and make that look better. So that's an easy one as well with the new shell. Right, let's whip the wing off. So on first glance, the car itself is really, really tidy. Dusty, but that's about it. It's got the manual speed controller fitted in it already, and the old Silvercan 540 motor, which it came with. As I say, it's fully ball raced, and the diffs are absolutely mega smooth, and everything feels great. Shocks are going to need to come off and get cleaned up. So I was sort of debating what I'm going to use and put in this car for running gear. I was going to go down the manual route again, but I'm kind of coming away from that slightly now. So what we're going to be using is, we've obviously got our new 2.4 gig radio gear. So when I got the radio gear, it comes with 2 receivers. So I've got one in the top force now, so it's nice to have a spare. Well, it's not spare, but you know what I mean, a second receiver. So we'll use that. I've been running out of servos, but I've got an old ACOMS AS12, which I had in the top force, and that works really well. So we'll use that for the steering servo. As I say, we're not using the manual speed controller, we're going down the electronic route. So I've got the, what did we call it? I forgot the make of this. I think it might be Hobby Wing, which is the 1060 speedo. Now, I'm not impressed with this. This has been going into limp mode every time I've used it on a couple of buggies. You know, apparently they're quite renowned for this, which is really frustrating because I think it's got a 13 turn limit, and the motors I've been using are nowhere near that. And after like 5 minutes of usage, it just goes at half speed on its own, and then you've got to switch it off and switch it back on. So it's frustrating, but apparently you can get a resistor set for it. I don't know too much about it, but there's certainly something you can buy for it which cures this problem. So we may have to do that, but it's a nice speedo. So that's what we're going to be using, and then finally I'm taking the 540 out, and we're going to fit the Tamiya Dynatech 01R in, which is it's a 19 turn, and it's got about 22,000 RPM. So it's a nice, lovely motor for this sort of, it's a period motor for this period car, and it'll be plenty quick enough for what we're doing. So that's everything we're going to be doing. So what we'll do now is we'll start stripping it, and in fact, first job we'll connect it to a battery, and we'll just run it and make sure there's no horrible noises coming from the gearboxes. Right, just put a battery in, and let's just give it a little blast. In great nick. Those gearboxes are absolutely cock on. Right, so next step, we'll take the speedo, the motor out, we'll get the wheels off, we'll get the shocks off, and then we'll get it down to that level and have a look at what we find. I have noticed there's a couple of bolts and stuff that are rusted. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do much with them, but as I say, and the steering is it's really tight, so we'll have to whiz the bumper off and see what's underneath it. Right, let's get cracking. Right, that's the car stripped down as much as I need it for now. Unfortunately, one of the wheel brackets adapters broke. Well, it was snapped already, which is frustrating. I've got another 2 coming, luckily enough, but these they don't last forever. You can actually super glue these and put them on place in the car and nip it up, and it kind of breaks the glue again, but it keeps in place because of the wheel. But as I say, we've got 2 new ones coming. It's very important on this chassis that you keep this motor plate. It's running a 15 tooth pinion, and the pinion is in excellent nick. There's not hardly any wear on it. This car's not done a lot of mileage at all. So I'll take that off and we'll save that, and we'll use the existing pinion. If you've not seen this car before, it has this that sits on the chassis, and obviously before it had the manual speed controller here and the resistor here. The idea of this was that upside down you mount your servo. I'll show you. The idea was your servo got mounted onto that first of all, and then that with the servo bolted down to the car. but obviously we're using an electronic speed controller, so I'm going to need to figure out where that's going to sit, whether I have this out, because obviously the battery goes through here, steering servo in there, receiver, so I'm not too sure space wise where things are going to go yet, or whether I'm going to use that existing plate for maybe mounting the receiver and maybe mounting the receiver here and the speedo down here. I'm not sure. In fact, no, I can't do that because that body sits flush. Anyway, so I'll have to figure that out as we start putting the radio gear in. So, couple of things. I took the bumper off and there's a little bit of rust down here and the steering's really tight. So we're going to have to slacken it all off, re-grease everything. And that's what I'm going to do next stage. I'm going to just take a bolt out at a time and re-grease the drive shafts and all the suspension screws that it pivots on. Get them slackened up, but to be fair, that actually looks like all it needs. So I'll spend an hour on this now. We'll get it cleaned. It's a bit manky as you can see on the inside, but we'll get everything re-greased, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I lied. This does need a lot more work. It's just general cleaning up, but obviously because of the age of it, everything is bone dry, and as I started sort of looking at bits, and it's just so gunked up, it's yuck. So I've taken the arms off. I mean, all the pivot screws are absolutely bone dry, and I've basically dismantled everything because that steering is absolutely solid, so that's going to have to come off and re-grease. So this is going to be a fairly slow process now, which is fine, you know. This is something that you can't rush. So we'll just concentrate a bit at a time. That's about it really. I'm not too sure what I'm going to be able to do with some of these screw heads that are rusted. I've got a little file, I can try to take some of the surface rust off if I haven't got a replacement screw. But as I say, we'll just do a step at a time. Right, let's get cracking. Right, I've got these parts all cleaned up, got all the gunk off of them, which took a while, but it's worth spending. I need to do more work actually. I have not greased everything yet, but these ball joints and stuff need to come off and get scrubbed and then re-greased. There's things that have slowed me down a little bit, like this drive cup is solid on this arm. Circlip's all rusted, so out of the 4 arms I took off, that's even harder. That's solid, and that's mega solid. There's only 1 arm that's actually like it should be. So I've dug around in my little treasure chest of Tamiya screws and bits, and I've dug out 3 circlips. So I'm going to have to break those off, those rusted ones, take the screw out, clean it up, re-grease them. So it's funny, you guys will probably appreciate this when you do a restore. I thought this would just be one sort of 15-minute video and we'd have the car finished and then part 2 would be running it. But that's not going to happen on this one. So I'm aware that this video sort of dragged on a little bit, so I'll end this video as part 1 now, and then I'll get cracking on part 2. So once again, thanks for watching, and if you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing, that'd be much appreciated. And happy seeing guys.